Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, Bitcoin traders are waiting for this one event that's coming today. It's coming in a couple hours. What is it? Well, the Fed minutes. Why is this significant? Well, I'm going to explain, and other things are going on. More escalation in Canada, unfortunately. More news about Russia, and several other things I want to talk about. So, thanks for tuning in. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, follow me on social media, and check out all the latest news, article, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully you guys are doing good today. Hopefully you joined me earlier today. I had some interesting things to say about Metamates. In case you haven't heard about that yet, but I will touch upon that real quick. So, Bitcoin is at 43.6, a little bit lower than yesterday. We were hovering above 44 yesterday, so just slightly lower. Seems to be a lot of hesitation today, not only with Bitcoin, but also with the U.S. markets. You know, a little bit in the red, but overall just kind of like uneasiness, a waiting period as people are, I think traders, I should say, not people, traders are waiting for this one thing. And that is the Fed minutes. The Fed minutes will be coming out. This will be released at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time or 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the Fed minutes will basically be a report of what was talked about last month. Now, a lot of things have changed since last month. So whatever they said may not be all that relevant anymore. Just like the Fed minutes that came out in January discussing what was talked about in December, right? A lot have changed. But obviously the last Fed minutes that came out in January going over what was talked about in December really spooked the market. Really spooked the market, right? This time around, I don't think it's going to be as impactful unless somehow, you know, the board of governors and the Fed and within the FOMC meeting, they said some crazy things that people are not expecting. Unless that happens, it should be a non-event. I mean, we already know what's going on with inflation. Yes, it's very high. What's going to come from the rate hikes, right? I mean, a lot of guesses already about, 50 basis points in March. Maybe as high as 1% by July. I mean, all of that been talked about, right? A lot of things have been talked about. So I don't think anything should really be a surprise. Unless there is a surprise. We just don't know, right? But in a couple hours, we'll find out. But right now, I believe that's what's going on. A lot of traders, and I'm specific with my wording, a lot of traders are looking at this and they're going to be very, either very reactionary or they're not going to make any moves, right? But investors long haul, unaffected by this, investors continue to hodl, continue to DCA and buy the dip and know that, yes, whatever may be going on, we will get through it. We will get through it, right? But I do think this is having a big effect on what's going on right now today. That is why we're kind of like flat today, right? This morning I did mention about retail sales surging 3.8% in January, which is actually really good economic news. Bad for rates, but good for the economy. Yet this is not taking into consideration inflation numbers. So a lot of the extra dollars that was added on here could be due to inflation. So it's not taking that into account. So still, kind of iffy. You gotta take it with a grain of salt, I guess. Let's just put it that way. Now, something else that's going on, and I've said this morning. Not to pat my own back, but I did say this morning, right? I talked about Facebook and how Mark wants to call everyone a metamate now, right? Rather than a Facebooker. I never even heard of that term. I have not heard anyone say you're a Facebookers. But basically, he wants to, call everyone metamates, which sounds a lot better than Facebookers. But but it's just really funny. And him and Jamie Dimon could be Metamates for life inside the metaverse. But anyways, I've said how Facebook is in a really bad spot, right? And I said, watch out, because whatever Apple did with their privacy features, Google will probably do. Most likely they're going to do it. And Apple, whatever they did, cost Facebook $230 billion because Facebook could no longer target ads to users of Facebook on iOS. Google plans on doing the same thing. Why wouldn't they? Right? Google is a competitor to Facebook. Why would they try to help Facebook? No, they wouldn't. So Facebook is in a really, really bad spot. They're just really bad right now, right? They are about to lose a lot of money. So I don't envy Mark. I don't envy anyone that's working at Facebook right now, trying to figure out how they're going to grow and how they're going to grow their bottom line, and everything is not working out for them. So let's see if they do better with the metaverse. Right now, the answer is no, but we'll see if if they somehow figure it out. All right, what else is there? Well, let's talk about the pandemic. The CDC is going to give a new guideline pretty soon. I think almost everyone, at least in the U.S., is sick of wearing a mask. Most of the mandates across the states are being removed, but officially the CDC will be giving some kind of official guideline in terms of mask wearing indoors, and probably they're going to recommend that you don't need it anymore. But that is coming out, so that is definitely helping get people out and about again, more comfortable, in terms of moving around. Can definitely help people get out there, help the hospitality industry, which has been decimated, help the restaurant industry, the travel. I mean, there's a lot of industries that they could help. So we'll see. This is pretty positive. In terms of Russia and the U.S., well, now it's NATO, not the U.S., that's claiming that Russia is increasing their troop numbers at the Ukraine border. Just yesterday, we received reports how Russia was removing troops from the border. Now, NATO is saying no, they're increasing troops at the border. So I don't know what's right or wrong, but this should have been a NATO thing to begin with. I don't know why it's a U.S.-Russia thing. I do understand it, because everything that U.S. does is calculated, and it's not just, you can't just believe everything at face value. So I believe there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that U.S. is trying to control. But, in terms of Ukraine and invasion and all that, this should be a NATO thing, not a Russian U.S. thing. So I don't know, but there's still more antsiness over this, right? A lot of uncertainty with this. Is this really going to happen? Is it not? There's a lot of memes being thrown out there. I saw one that someone sent me this morning, how Russia tweeted Ukrainians how they should set an alarm on when the invasion is going to happen. Something like that. I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff going on. So, again, traders are watching this, making sure that it doesn't escalate. If it does escalate, well, then it's going to get a lot worse, right? But right now, it's just kind of a standstill. And we have to see. We have to see what happens. So there's the latest on that. Now, there is something else that's happening in Canada, and I got to say, this is just escalating worse and worse. So we know that Canada, what they're trying to do in terms of stopping the blockade in Ottawa from the truckers, right? So Prime Minister Trudeau basically enacted, or trying to enact, the Emergency Act, which will remove some personal freedoms away, such as the freedom of gathering, and also goes try to stop funding into those truckers. So now the Canadian Federal Police, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, have ordered financial firms that's connected to crypto and crowdfunding, and basically telling them stop the payments going to these truckers. So from a crypto standpoint, they have basically blacklisted 29 Bitcoin addresses, and they're trying to get anyone that is a regulated FinTrack company to stop and blacklist these addresses, right? Which I'm assuming exchanges would be in that FinTrack category. You probably have to register for it, but this doesn't take into account any Bitcoin address. Anyone can open up a Bitcoin address, right? A wallet and basically send. You can't stop that. So this is fruitless. This is pointless. However, though, this is just escalating, right? It's getting worse and worse. The whole point of, CDC and all these guys, even the CEO of Madeira came out this morning saying, the COVID is coming down. We're getting to a point where things are really cooling off, and we're nowhere near escalating anymore. We're definitely on a downtrend, right? Yet this is still happening. So I don't know. This is starting to look really bad, in my opinion. I get if you have trucks blocking roads and stalling businesses, that's bad, right? But starting to take personal freedoms away from citizens because of this, I think that's making it worse. So unfortunately, that's the reality of the situation right now. But it does show you, this is proving why Bitcoin and crypto is important. One of the reasons why. It started out as distrust in banks and countries, right? And this is one of the reasons, so that you can't have any centralized entity that could just stop and take your money away or stop your transactions, right? With Bitcoin and crypto, that's the whole point. You don't have anyone telling you what you can and what you can't do. Even in the US, because of the situation, there's a new bill that was just proposed in terms of how centralized entities can't do this. I don't know if it's going to be passed, but it's quite interesting what this is. This is actually bringing positive light to crypto and Bitcoin, I think, but definitely not good for Canadians. So that's the latest situation with this too, getting uglier. I don't know where this is going to end, but hopefully it does end and everything goes back to normal. All right. So what else is there? Well, that's all the major topics. I see a couple of things. Dusty says he did donate. Proud of it. And also, there's this Vegas auto gallery that has NFT car buys. I'll have to check that out later. Sounds interesting. All right. But with all those things said, again, this proves the point of Bitcoin and crypto overall, right? And why it's important and why it's expanding. Not just for these reasons, but also for financial freedom, for freedom overall, right? And of course, decentralization of apps and the finance industry. Going from CeFi, centralized finance, to decentralized finance. This is all part of the future, right? Web 3.0. And beyond, right? So there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of development, a lot of money throwing in crypto for these reasons, right? I covered this story. This kind of relates, like Warren Buffett. He's kind of dumping his Visa and MasterCard stocks because he's putting that money into Nubank, which is a new type of bank, one that's very, very, very pro-crypto, right? So from that perspective, yeah, you're starting to see this change, this revolution, right? Going from centralized finance to more decentralized finance. Although this is still a bank in Brazil, but it's a start. And now you're starting to see even guys like Warren Buffett that has been very anti-Bitcoin and crypto in the past, now starting to recognize that, yeah, this is a thing. This is a thing, not just from a profits perspective, but also from just a freedom perspective, a humanitarian perspective, right? So I do think that you're starting to see a lot of this shift, change in thinking in terms of what crypto could be used for and the good that it could bring. So there's that. Also, in terms of, some people asked about, okay, where can you spend your crypto if your, bank account or something gets shut down? Well, it's a start. So you have 11 major companies like Microsoft, Overstock, Home Depot, Starbucks, Whole Foods, Newegg, and Tesla, kind of, right? That's accepting crypto. But you do have a lot of other apps or a lot of ways to spend crypto directly. For example, Flexa is one of those. They're partnered up with a lot of, in fact, according to them, over 41,000 locations in the US and Canada where you can spend your crypto directly, right? So you do have dApps that help you. Something like the Cash App from Block, they're utilizing Bitcoin Lightning Network, and Jack Dorsey's trying to make everything decentralized, including decentralized on fiat ramp, and basically making Bitcoin feeless to use and spend money wherever you want, right? So there's a lot of things that's being developed right now. Not 100%, but eventually, as this grows, the ecosystem grows, you're going to be less and less dependent on fiat. I think everyone is still, still concerned about converting Bitcoin or crypto into cash to spend. But in the future, just think about it, you don't have to convert. You could just spend your crypto directly. That's what some of these dApps are working on. So it's early, but yeah, there's a lot of progress already. And, if you want to participate, right, if you are someone that wants to get into Web 3.0, right, in terms of job postings, there's just a ton. I saw a couple articles that relate to this. For example, crypto job postings jumped almost 400% in 2021 alone on LinkedIn. In San Francisco, Austin, New York City, Miami, Denver, right? But I think that's going to only increase. If you look at Google search trends, obviously over the last 5 years, you could see crypto jobs is on the uprise, right? And it's going to have its own parabolic swing, just like Bitcoin, right? It's getting there. So yeah, there's a lot of interest right now in terms of getting involved with Web 3.0 and everything that's going on right now. Even Coinbase, they announced that they're going to hire over 2,000 employees just this year alone to work on Web 3.0 initiatives, right? There's a lot of interest in this space, a lot of money flowing into the space. In fact, over $30 billion in 2021, right? So this is why we need to be in the game. It's still early. No matter what anyone says, this is still so early, right? And I think the situation in Canada is proving why this is a necessity, why we do need to expand this ecosystem. But in terms of everything else, yeah, it's still so early, and there is just a lot more to come. So there you go. All right, so that's pretty much it. The main thing is, I think right now the market is kind of hovering because of the traders. They're waiting to see what comes from this Fed minutes report, right? Is there anything going to be eye-opening, surprising, or it's a nothing burger? If it turns out to be a nothing burger, which I think it's more likely, because I don't know at this point what else the Fed could say that would be really shocking, the markets could rally significantly after this. Now, if something is eye-opening and shocking, then the market could dump after this. But I think, a lot of traders are just waiting to see what happens, right? Now, in terms of overall Bitcoin, overall crypto market cap, a little more weakness in altcoins today. Bitcoin dominance went up slightly by 0.2%. So yesterday, obviously, we had a terrific green day. Today, just barely in the red. Barely. You could see 1%, 0.5%, just barely in the red. A lot of waiting right now. So, all right, let's do some Q&A. All right. All right, looking through these comments. Richard says, they could block you if they block your access to the internet. Well, that's a good point. Well, that's why you have guys like Elon that's working on Starlink, where you could get direct internet access to satellites, right? So there are people that's working on this issue, but there's no way There's no way you can just block the entire internet. That's impossible. You could say, well, you could block IPs and stuff. Well, that's why there's VPNs and decentralized VPNs that helps with that, right? So let's keep in mind. There's many that's on our side too. More and more Congress people in the U.S. is starting to understand why Bitcoiners are right. So there's a lot of Congress people that's coming out and showing support for Bitcoin and decentralization and making sure that all these regulations that's being proposed are shut down, right? Like the infrastructure bill, we got a big win. So, this definition of broker, right, was clarified so that miners and stakers do not belong in there, so they don't have to report like everyone else, right? So that's a big win. So there's a new act that was just proposed. I forgot the exact name. I think it's Keep Your Own Coins Act or something like that. That's preventing centralized services or centralized entities, agencies, I believe, exact language, stopping agencies from preventing you to spend your own crypto in a self-hosted wallet, like one that you just create, right? Because it's your coins, your money. You could do whatever you want with it, basically. So we do have a lot of politicians now that's also pro-Bitcoin. So this notion that somehow, everything could be shut down, just to try to stop crypto, I think that's just impossible at this point. Raphael, can you share your thoughts on Everdome? I've never heard that project before. Sounds like a game or something. One Day is doing pretty good. It's a very, very early project. I don't even know if I want to look at it because it's so early stage, but let's just take a look. It is a metaverse on the Mars. I don't know. Maybe, yeah. Dome Estate. Bring brands together with intent of building the highest quality Web 3.0. Purchase land, property, marketplace. Yeah, something to do with real estate. On Mars, maybe. I'm going to say it's too early project. So, let's see what else is there to talk about. Yeah, a lot of comments about what's going on in Canada. It's just it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Unfortunately, that's the situation right now. Coinbase card is great if you're crazy enough to want to spend your Bitcoin. Yeah, that's true. At this point, no one really wants to spend Bitcoin because it's a store of value. But, one day they will. One day when Bitcoin hits its peak, maybe at $1 million or $5 million, whatever it may be, right? Once it hits that peak, well, then people are going to start spending it. And when I say Bitcoin, I mean, there's many other crypto that you can use too. Even some of the smaller altcoins, right? You could do it with Ethereum. You could do it with Avalanche Solana. You could do it with Cardano. You could do it with XRP. One of the use cases for XRP. There's a lot of things you could do. I mean, even stable coins too. Can you pay your BlockFi credit card with BTC? No, but I don't know if I can share this, but they are planning on something like that. So that you pay your credit card with crypto. They are actually working on that. So that is coming. Casper, good risk reward. No, not really. They're a privacy coin, so I don't know. I don't like privacy coins. I think they're going to get a lot of scrutiny in the future from the regulators, and they will be delisted one after another. It seems like BlackRock is working for the government in disguise. They give me the creeps. a lot of people do not like BlackRock. I mean, I think a lot of you guys have seen the reports of BlackRock buying up real estate at a 30% premium. So they're buying all up to control the market and then inflating the market, which is why this morning I covered how the average mortgage loan is $450,000 now. I mean, house prices have been driven up so much, right? It's insane that that's the average now in the U.S. So, yeah, BlackRock is, I don't know. You know, they're like a evil empire. they pretend like they care about ESG, yet they're doing very other shady things behind the scenes. And now they're getting into crypto. So they've been saying that for quite some time. They're part of the reason why Bitcoin fell down in the first place in 2021. And now maybe they've accumulated enough, so now they're getting involved with crypto. Let's see. What do you think about Uphold? I think Uphold is a decent exchange. I mean, I'm familiar with them because if you are using BAT, I mean, if you're using a Brave browser and you're getting a reward in BAT, you know, they're hooked up to Uphold. They're growing their ecosystem. I don't use them too much. They have a decent amount of coins on there. And I think they're okay. Digital Land, NFT World's changing the game, leading the metaverse space now. Check out, they're not leading anything. What do you think about true potential of Cody? Are they fundamentally very strong? Can they be a big hitter? I mean, anything's possible. Can they become a large cap? Sure, but it's unlikely at this point. Cody is riding coattails of Cardano. There's a lot of projects that's riding coattails of Cardano. So they're helping Cardano come out with the DJED stablecoin. Also, they're powering ADA Pay, right? But besides that, they're a payment network. So one of the many that's out there. But I think most of their attention is from Cardano at this point. And Cardano has not been doing that spectacular, so neither has Cody. Can it grow? Yes. Is there potential there? Yeah. Can they work with other companies? Yeah. Yeah. But will they become a large cap? Not anytime soon. Why is rallying pumping? I have no idea. I'm not flexing with my polo. I'm just trying to look less like a bum on screen. So that's all. Thoughts on Phantom? I just cover Phantom Reality right now. I just did a whole big video about them and several other projects that you guys should check out if you want to learn more about L1s and some of the good promising coins out there. So looking at Bitcoin, yeah, it's kind of just hovering right here, 43.7. A little boring. You know, in a couple hours, less than 2 hours, we'll see this come out, and will we see a big rally or a big dump or a nothing burger? I think, I don't know. I think we may actually see a rally because I think the Fed minutes will point to nothing. Like absolutely nothing. I just can't imagine that anything was said in the closed door meeting last month that would surprise traders at this point. Unless they're talking about, oh, we're going to increase rates by 1 basis point or 100 basis points in March or something. I just don't see it. But who knows? We'll know in a couple hours. BlackRock controls literally quadrillions, also working with Ripple. I don't know about the last part. Even if that is the case, I don't think that's a win for Ripple. So no, I wish I was 24 again. I'm not 24. I wish I was. How's the DCO portfolio? Hey, today is Wednesday, so you'll find out tonight. I will be DCing into the portfolio tonight. Steven, I appreciate that. Bluezell is doing very well. They're doing games and NFT stuff. Worth another look. I heard they started doing NFT stuff, but that was not their main thing. I mean, they were decentralized database. I don't know how they shifted, but yeah, they were much higher in 2017. Yep, 2017, 2018, starting to make traction back up. But I'll have to take a look at it again if they're into like GameFi now. Yeah, which they are. I'll take a look at them again, but they definitely did not start out as a GameFi, DeFi, NFT play. They start out as a new way of doing decentralized database, very specific database that makes fetching of data within a database very fast and cheap. So they rebranded. Flux to 300 by end of 2023. I think that's a yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. That's 200x. That would give them what, like a $6 trillion market cap? No, 60 trillion market cap? No, it's not gonna happen. Sorry. I'm a big fan of Flux, but that's just way out there. How much upside is left for OMI? I think there's still a lot of upside. So 1 billion. Yeah, the upside is definitely there. Can they grow to a $10 billion project? Sure. I mean, it takes some time, but NFTs is only getting hotter. Metaverses are only getting hotter. And Ukomi, you know, now that they're on Immutable X, that's going to help them. Utilizing ERC20 standard is definitely going to help them, and licensing is going to help them in the future, right? So their upside is tremendous, but you have to wait for it. It's not going to come immediately. Is full moon coming? I don't know. I don't want to talk about full moon anymore. Every time I talk about it, people say, how can you be talking about a full moon? All right, I'll let you guys go. Overall, you know, we'll wait a couple hours and we'll see what happens. But even if it turned out to be a nothing burger, there's still a lot to digest, right? What's going on with Russia and NATO now? What's going on in Canada? There's a lot of things to digest. But one thing is for certain, Bitcoin solves all these issues, right? That's why as an investor, we need to continue to be strong, continue to hodl, continue to DCA into the future for financial freedom and freedom overall, while all the traders are trying to guess what's going to happen short term. All right, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.